Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be checking out a video that was actually recommended, and it's titled Germany's First High-Speed Train. Is it still good? Like, I didn't even know Germany had high-speed train. I thought these were, things you'd find in like Asian countries like China, stuff like that. I've never been on a high-speed train. In fact, I've only traveled on a train once in my entire life. Well, twice, back and forth in Finland. So that was my first experience on a train, actually. But yeah. This was recommended by TT A. Russ. I'm just going to say A. Russ. Thank you for the recommendation. Any recommendations, leave those in the comment section down below, or click the link that will be provided where you guys can actually add videos to the playlist.
This is Germany's first ever high-speed train, the original generation of the ICE. Today I'll be taking a ride on this 30-year-old train, travelling between two of Germany's biggest cities, Frankfurt and Berlin. Let's see if this old train still lives up to Germany's high standards in first class on what is one of the world's most famous railway brands. There's even time to check out the onboard meal service, so join me for a speedy ride through Germany. Welcome to Frankfurt am Main Hauptbahnhof, Germany's busiest station and a key hub for domestic and international rail travel. Before we head inside, let's just take a moment to appreciate the beautiful 1880s entrance hall, a building that looks spectacular even in the dullest of weather, such as today. Inside this building, you can find all the standard features of a major German railway station. There's a staffed ticket office here to the left, as well as the DB Lounge, though I can't use this with my ticket. Moving on to the platforms allows a view of the 5 spectacular train sheds here. This is also where you can find a large variety of shops and food outlets, including the ever ubiquitous McDonald's and other typical German brands. Rather interestingly, this station is involved in a partnership scheme, namely with Gare du Lest in Paris and Tokyo's main station. Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof has a lot of tracks, 28 in total, for the large variety of frequent services the station sees. Most of the regional services are operated by DB Regio, though other operators serve the station too. For example, Hessische Landesbahn operates services to Hanau and Aschaffenburg, while the private operator Vias runs a number of routes out of here. You'll also see occasional services to France, operated by the French national operator SNCF. This one is bound for Marseille on the Mediterranean coast. My train will be operated by DB Fernverkehr, the branch of Germany's national rail operator dedicated to long-distance and high-speed trains. These ICE trains cover all corners of Germany, serving the biggest cities in the country. There are even some international routes to Switzerland, Austria, Belgium and France. The ICE is one of the most recognisable railway brands anywhere in the world, with the 3 letters standing for Intercity Express. My train today will be ICE 598, the 1414 to Berlin Ostbahnhof. This train has already had a long journey, having set off from Munich this morning around 4 hours prior. ICE trains began operation in May 1991, with service based around the then brand new Kassel-Wilhelmshöhe station and the Hanover to Würzburg high-speed line, both of which we'll be seeing today.
That's pretty long.
The first generation train was creatively named the ICE 1, with its iconic wedge-shaped cab still looking great all these years on. I'll be travelling first class today, and have a seat reservation here in coach 11. Both first class and second class have 6-seater compartments, but I'll be travelling in the open area today, as it's better for filming. Seating is in a 2+1 layout as you'd expect. I would have shown this here, but for some reason I decided to film the floor. My seat is number 55, a forward-facing single seat.
Pretty cool.
Today's route will see us crossing most of Germany, heading north along the Hanover to Würzburg line, before heading east on the Hanover to Berlin line, meaning much of the journey will be on high-speed track. The journey is scheduled to take 4 hours and 11 minutes, covering 573 kilometers or about 356 miles.
That's pretty fast.
Departure from Frankfurt am Main is 7 minutes behind schedule at 4.
That's pretty fast, because if I'm not mistaken, when I went to Helsinki with the train, it took like around 10 hours or somewhere around there, I'm not sure. And it was around what kilometer? Probably 8. It was close to 1,000 kilometer of distance that we had to cover. And yeah, it was wild. I actually had a room for myself. There was like a whole room that you could get, and that's what I took. So yeah.
1821. Our journey begins heading southwest as the train tries to navigate the busy junctions in the city. As we loop around the city to head north, we cross the River Main, after which this city is named. Before we look around the interior, let's quickly check out my phone. DB's app offers a service called Comfort Check-in, in which you can confirm your presence in the seat you reserved. The process takes seconds, and means you no longer need to have your ticket inspected. Anyway, as we head along the classic line towards our first stop of Fulda, let's take a look around the first class here on the ICE 1. We'll start off with the seat. As I mentioned earlier, the seats are in a 2+1 layout, and I think they look really smart in the black leather design. As for comfort, well, they're great. A perfect balance of padding and ergonomics, making for a really comfortable ride.
Okay.
And up top, you can find a very soft pillow, a staple feature of ICE trains since day one. Each seat gets a pair of wide folding armrests. Beside the seat, you'll find a lever to control the generous recline.
Really? Oh.
And beneath, there's another lever, this one controlling the adjustable seat base, allowing for improved thigh support. In front is the footrest, which can be folded down for additional comfort. Above this is a small net for storing personal items. And the little grey piece of plastic is a personal litter bin. It's small, but it helps keep the train tidy. The seat in front also features a folding table, which offers a decently sized surface for working on. A groove is provided to place a drink too. Now moving on to legroom, and it is fantastic.
A lot.
There's definitely a lot of room to stretch out and relax, ideal as these trains can be used on some very long journeys. Looking back outside, we can see the Hanover to...
I think one of the best things about traveling on a train is that long distance, you can actually get up and you can actually go for a walk, like a literal walk. Like imagine walking while driving. Yeah, because trains drive, right? That's pretty cool.
Würzburg line passing over us, which we will soon be joining for part of our journey. Our first station is Fulda, a major interchange on Germany's railway network. The city itself has a long history, being founded in 744 and having a key role in spreading Christianity throughout Germany. From here, we will be travelling on high-speed track for most of the remaining journey. This was Germany's first high-speed line, and allows trains to travel at up to 250 km an hour in regular service, and a little bit faster in case of a delay, which happens frequently. Though it seems our short delay isn't enough to warrant the higher speeds, these trains can and do often reach their top speed of 280 km an hour. Our next stop is Kassel-Wilhelmshöhe, serving the city of Kassel. Unlike most cities in Germany, the main station here is actually not the Hauptbahnhof, which literally translates as main station, but instead this one. Kassel is also home to the Regiotram, a tram train system operating since 2007 on 3 routes.
Okay.
The system features tram vehicles with special adjustments to allow them to run on traditional railways. Some of the Regio tram sets are even fitted with diesel engines to operate on unelectrified branch lines.
Okay.
As our journey continues, I'm beginning to get fairly hungry. All ICE trains have a restaurant car, and this one is no exception. The restaurant on the ICE 1 is a classy affair, with a bar and lounge area, as well as a proper sit-down restaurant with table service. But one of the benefits of first class is at-seat service, with staff frequently passing through the carriages ready to take orders. I went for the Bunt Gnocchi pasta dish with a beer. Note that many dishes on the DB Bordrestaurant menu are seasonal, so this one is no longer available. I've left a menu link in the description so you can see what's currently on offer.
Appreciate it, baby.
All meals are served using proper dishes, cutlery, and branded glasses.
That's pretty cool.
Though surely I can't be the only one who has noticed they don't quite fit the groove provided. Unfortunately, I misplaced my receipt from this evening's meal, but a meal and a drink tend to go for around 10 to 15 euros, which I think is pretty good value. This station is Hildesheim Hauptbahnhof, where we briefly leave one high-speed line to change to another. From here, we'll head east to the German capital, travelling on older routes that have been upgraded to high-speed standards. Now let's talk about the future for these old ICE trains. From 2020, the role of the ICE-1 has somewhat diminished, with the arrival of newer and higher capacity ICE-4 units displacing them from the busiest routes. Most of the original sets are being shortened from 12 car to 9 car, and receiving a light overhaul known as LDV or Lebensdauerverlängerung, which translates as lifespan extension.
Okay.
By 2030, they're expected to be fully replaced by ICE-3 Neo and ICE-4 units, as well as DB's new Talgo trains. Who knows, there may even be an ICE-5 by then too.
Shit.
The ICE-1 also has an interesting history in a country far away from Germany. In 1993, a modified ICE-1 set was shipped to the United States, where it was showcased on trains between New York and Washington DC. It was also hauled around other parts of the country by a diesel locomotive. Despite this excursion leaving positive impressions, no orders were made. Instead, a consortium of Bombardier and Alstom won the order, resulting in the Acela Express. We're now approaching Braunschweig Hauptbahnhof in a city historically known as Brunswick. The station opened in 1960, replacing an older station that was difficult to serve due to being a terminus as well as being overcapacity. Despite the weather being pretty miserable today, these trains are fitted with effective sunblinds.
That's pretty cool.
And if you need more light, then an individual reading light can be found above all seats. There's also a coat hook located above your seat next to the window. Lastly, a European-style power socket can be found beneath the seat, one for each passenger.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Luggage storage can be found in the form of sizable overhead luggage racks, which would have no problem handling even the largest of bags. Strangely, there are no luggage stacks in first class, only in second class. However, any heavier items should be able to fit in between seats. And I nearly forgot to mention, whilst meals in first class are not complimentary, you will get a little sweet treat. Normally, either a small piece of chocolate or some sort of biscuit. As we are now winding through Berlin's suburbs, it's time to talk about how much this journey cost. I paid €65.90 for a one-way first class ticket, valid only on this train. I think this is a great price for a high-speed journey of this length, especially for first class.
Yeah.
As we head into the German capital, we pass Berlin-Charlottenburg, where a Euronight sleeper train is waiting to depart for Vienna, Budapest and the Ukrainian border. This was actually my connection, so I was relieved to see that I was going to make it.
Wow.
Germany's railways often get a bad reputation for terrible reliability, and I've definitely experienced that in the past. However, it seems like I was lucky today, as we are only running a couple minutes behind schedule. The ride through Berlin is certainly a lot slower than on the high-speed sections earlier, but this does allow for a great view of the city. This station is Berlin Zoologischer Garten, which historically was the terminus for the Siberiak, a long-distance train that ran all the way through Siberia to Novosibirsk in Russia, among other destinations such as Sochi and various cities in Kazakhstan. The large modern construction of Berlin Hauptbahnhof eventually comes into view, and we pull into the station 2 minutes late at 18:27.
I mean, that's not bad. 2 minutes late's not bad.
Overall, I really enjoyed my trip on Deutsche Bahn's ICE. These older trains definitely live up to the standards of a modern high-speed train, and it's great to see that they'll remain in service for quite a few years to come too. As always, let me know what you thought of the ICE one in the comments.
I mean, 30 years going strong, it seems good to me. They doing what they need to do. Maintenance and all that is going crazy. So, you know, shout out to them though. But this is this was a very, you know, relatable video, as I've actually done similar thing. I think when I paid for my ticket, it was about 90. It was around that much. But the difference between my ticket and his, I had a whole, you know, 2 stacks of bed, one room with a bathroom. I had like my shit was different. Plus it was a longer journey. I'm actually surprised that, you know, it was probably more reasonable cost than this one. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's the day that I also traveled, because I'm very smart with choosing days that, you know, I travel on. But yeah, this was a great video, man. Shout out to Germany, and the link for the original video will be in the description as well. So thank you for watching, and yeah, until next time, I'm out of here. Peace.